Hey everyone, so back with some RTA matches here. Yeah, so we're in Immortal, we're top 5, and I think right now at the recording of this video, I'm sitting at 6. So, mystery opponent here, they ban Ralph. So I end up changing my avatar after this. I'm going back to it, which is annoying because I don't like doing that, but I'm at such a disadvantage with people seeing that. So anyway, I first pick Alicia, and then he goes into Ashlyn, and then picks Afroine. So then I'm Halia, and then Zoltan. I've really started to like using Zoltan some more again, now that I kind of have him rebuilt and he's doing much better. So here I'm just waiting to see what happens, but recapping, he did pre-ban Ralph. Ralph has become a real nuisance for sure. There are some counters to him, but they are few and far between, and to be honest, most of them are light and dark legendaries, so that's not very fun for the community, I'm sure, coming up against, A5 Ralphs. So here, I'm debating on who to pick next, because he does have Dark Nick, so Jonathan seems to be a pretty safe pick. At this point, I think I have full intention of banning the Afroine, but it all depends on his last pick as well. So here I'm debating, and I end up picking Kasim, again with full intention of just banning the Afroine. So he's debating. Also, all of these matches are against the same person. That's kind of what's been happening nowadays up in the higher ranks, is you just pair against the same person over and over. So he ends up going with Jocasta, which I thought was interesting, but I ended up banning Aurea because I think I can beat the Afroine. But he ends up banning Alicia. I was kind of banking on the Alicia for the Afroine. But here, a lot of it is going to depend on the Zoltan True Strikes. And I'm hoping that Kasim might have enough attack to either one-shot the Afroine, and he came close there through the shield. So that was a bit of a bummer. But now, I think at this point I'm thinking that I probably need to get rid of the Ashlyn, and he almost one-shots the Ashlyn too, so that was through the defense up as well, so it was a little bit of a bummer. But anyway, attack down, defense down from the Jonathan. A little bit of a bummer that my Zoltan was stunned, but I still will get to go first with the Halia, so I should be able to take out the Ashlyn here. And I think he's trying to clear the Halia to not let that happen, the bonus turns. But thankfully she's tanky enough and was able to stay alive. So here I'm just wondering on who to jump into. I end up jumping into the Zoltan. I don't know if that was a good pick or not by me. I think it was more so just so I could get some counterattacks in with Zoltan, because I figured that's who he was going after next with the Afroine. But then again, he was going before Afro, so I'm not quite sure what I was doing with jumping into Zoltan there. Maybe making it difficult for him to not be able to focus down with Ashlyn? I don't know. I'm still confused at that play. So here Jonathan's going after the Ashlyn. Zoltan just finishes her off, keeps up his shield. I think that was mainly to try and stay tanky enough against this Dark Nick and the Afro. But he didn't end up focusing Zoltan anyway. So I just rewatching this, I should have ulted with the Zoltan. I'm not quite sure what I was doing there. Because right now he only has 3 stacks between the defense up and the defense pierce. So whenever he ults, he actually doesn't get his attack up and his immunity control. You'll see here whenever he ults, he won't get attack up because he doesn't have 4 stacks. Oh, okay, so I don't choose to use it here. Or do I? I guess we'll see. Okay, I don't. So I just go with those shields. Here, I extra turn the Jonathan to try and survive the Dark Nick nuke that's coming. And I also wanted to do that so I would get some bonus attacks after he nuked. Okay, so thankfully, you know, Kasim had the dodge up, and he stole the shield as well from the Afro, it looks like. He had some kind of shield up. So we take her back to full health, but remove her rage bar. So here I'm feeling pretty good, actually, because I'm putting the attack down, defense down on the Dark Nick, so I'm not thinking he's going to be hitting as hard. I have the defense pierce again with the Zoltan, and I true strike, so I think I kind of got lucky there with a couple of those procs, but it was enough for me to finish off the Afro, which isn't very easy to do. But on to the next one. So, queuing up pretty quick. Here, like I said, it's against the same opponent, all 4 of these matches. So here, I think I was debating on if I wanted to ban like the Afro-Ween or something like that, so I didn't have to worry about it. But I know that he also has Darkwing Valeria, and every time I try and go up against Darkwing Val, I always get, you know, an unlucky stun or something. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of RNG ends up taking place. But here, you know, I do end up banning the Afro. And I go with Alicia Ashlyn, which I think is pretty strong back-to-back picks. So he has the A1 Dark Doomweaver Valeria. I always say her name wrong. And then he picks Aurea. Aurea has just been so strong. She's such a strong epic. And when she's booked to have a little bit of tank to her, man, she is she can get kind of brutal. I'm debating on booking her. It feels really bad, you know, booking heroes that don't like deal damage or anything like that. But I don't know. I might have to just do it. So here I go Hakron and Zoltan. I'm thinking that I have full intention to just ban the Valeria. But then he picks Giranol, and Giranol has definitely been a issue for me. There's only like 2 or 3 people that pick Giranol, and their Giranols are nuts. Like, they have really high precision, they one-shot everything. It doesn't matter how much attack or tank they have. I always seem to get one-shot by them, so. Now, this Giranol is definitely something that I want to ban, but the problem is I've got 2 things to worry about here now. The Doomweaver Valeria ignores defense, and I'm bringing in a bunch of kind of tank units. And then he brings in Holy Armor Virgil, which, you know, I need to do enough damage to or I won't be able to kill it. So I'm kind of forced to ban the Giranol here. And I bring in Levi, you know, kind of as a effort to kill the Holy Armor Virgil, but then he bans him. So, I mean, I am not liking my chances here, for sure. There is a chance that I could, you know, end up clutching it with Zoltan or something. But I guess we'll just have to see. So he ends up doing the speed buff. Here, I think I end up stunning the Valeria. I guess we'll see. I think that's a smart play. Okay. So I do end up doing that. And here I'm wondering who he's going to focus down. And it's the Ashlyn. Ashlyn really is strong. If she goes unchecked, you're going to have an issue there. So thankfully, I've got a 2-turn stun here on the Val. And I ult because, Holy Armor Virgil doesn't have any kind of debuff on him. Thankfully, I'm able to charm the Aurea and have enough damage to take out the Halia. So I think I'm in an okay spot here. He does get a True Strike proc on the Ashlyn, which kind of sucked because that took her out. And my Zoltan did not have enough oomph to take out the Aurea. I end up attacking the Dark Val because I didn't want Aurea to heal off that. And then, of course, just a little bit more damage would have took out the Doomweaver Valeria, but story of my life. So we did get a True Strike proc on the Holy Armor Virgil, but with the counterattack on Zoltan, he stole his buffs, which is awesome. And again, just not enough damage to take out the Aurea there, and then she heals back up, and now the Val gets to do her ultimate. Oh, so he went with the special. I ended up killing her. Put on the shield, but now she's going to ignore some defense, and now it's just a game of can I kill this Holy Armor Virgil. And right now I only have 1 defense pierce stat. So, as you see here, it's pretty hard. I did get the taunt on the Holy Armor Virgil though, so it's gonna be close. I think he ends up getting me here. Yeah, True Strike. It was close though. Zoltan almost clutched it, but yeah, he had a really nice pick there with the Holy Armor Virgil at the end. And I tried to save it with Levi, but of course wasn't enough. Okay, on to the next one. All right, so right back in, you can see how quickly we're queuing. So I banned the Afro last time, right? Pre-ban on the Afro, and I've learned my lesson. I just make the smart decision and ban the Doomweaver Valeria. Ignoring defense, removing buffs, stunning. It's just she's bonkers. So we have the same picks as last time, to start everything off here. He first picks Halia, and then I do the same thing with Alicia Ashlyn. Here he goes different with Corrupt Aurak. And then Nero, which is pretty good counter pick against Alicia. So I pick Zoltan again. Jonathan's a really good pick against Halia and Nero. But the Corrupt Aurak is a pretty decent pick against Jonathan. He has the possibility of stunning him, and also his passive or his trait, I don't know which one it is, that deals damage at the start of the round, does not trigger Jonathan's shield. So here he goes SSA, which is also a pretty good pick against Jonathan because it makes it a little tricky on when to ultimate with Jonathan's ult because it puts those debuffs up on SSA. And then he goes with the Holy Armor Virgil again. So I really struggle with that Holy Armor Virgil. So I think that's who I'm planning on banning here. And then I last pick Kasim, which seems like a decent pick here. Oh, no, I go with Hakron. Oh, okay, so I just went with Tank. Yeah, okay. So going that route, more defensive. I know I can't really kill the Holy Armor Virgil. So I'm kind of forced to ban him here and deal with the SSA. So, of course, SSA, ignores some defense and all that stuff, but nowhere near as much of a threat as the Holy Armor Virgil because of his self-healing. So here, my plan is like 100% just try and have Ashlyn survive. And then nuke with her light ultimate. I think that's basically the only win condition I have here. So here, I'm debating on who to attack. I think this was pretty smart, trying to take down the Corrupt Orac. Just the RNG of the stuns, and he can do huge damage with his ult. So I am trying to mitigate that. If I can get rid of him, then I can just kind of focus down the SSA. And this is where I'm kind of in a debacle, with Jonathan, because I don't want to trigger SSA's, extra attacks and all that stuff to have him loop back around to his ultimate. So here he focuses down the Alicia. And here I'm debating if I want to ult or not. The reason is because Nero doesn't have immunity up, so putting attack down and defense down on him is kind of nice. And I was also hoping for a proc from Ashlyn. That unfortunately did not happen. Okay, and then thankfully my Alicia does get a turn here. And I think I'm debating on either taking out the Halia or taking out the Corrupt Orac. So end up taking out the Corrupt Orac. And then finishing off the Halia with my Ashlyn. So I've got a full health Ashlyn with defense up on. So I'm feeling pretty confident at this point. She does only have about 25% magic sparks. But we're in a pretty good spot here, I think. So here I just, focus down the Nero. Here I'm probably debating on switching because if he does any kind of damage with the SSA, I definitely want to be able to loop back around and get that shield and heal. So he took out the Alicia, and now he's planning on just going after the Ashlyn for sure. Thankfully, he didn't get a stun. I think they need to have buffs to get a stun, which is also why I think I switched. And here, like I said, just switch into that heal and shield. Just focus down the Nero here, because I'm one turn away from ultimating on the light side. So I just get that big shield from Jonathan. Here, I'm also debating ulting again, with the possibility of SSA triggering Ashlyn. Unfortunately, not lucky. But I did get lucky again without him stunning. And SSA actually can only remove those negative debuffs once. So here I switch into the light mode, so I don't trigger him by possibly silencing him. And then I have the ult at max sparks, and he doesn't have any of the max HP up. So the ult on Ashlyn was enough to kill him. So on to the next one. All right, and now on to the last match of the video here. Stick with the usual pre-ban of Doomweaver, and he continues to ban my Ralph. I have had many people beat me with Ralph. It's not impossible. It's similar to like Afroween, where it's not impossible to win. It just makes it really, really hard. And there's only a couple, heroes that can beat it. But anyway, so standard picks for us. He first picks Halia, and then I just go Alicia Ashlyn. And here, he's probably going away from the Corrupt Orak because it didn't work for him last time. He goes into Gyrinol, which I think he's thinking is going to be a safe ban for me, so he can kind of pick the rest of his units around my team, considering me banning the Gyrinol. So here he picks Aurea. I was holding my my cursor over Hackran a little too long. I knew he was geared, but that's why I was doing that. Yep, so here I'm debating on who to pick. So sadly, as you saw, my Galeno was not geared because I was going to try and keep the Gyrinol there and remove her invincible buff and possibly ban the Halia. But I end up going with Bocce, which is he can be a decent pick against Aurea if the Aureas are built tanky, because his Roller Bomb passive or his trait will just trigger against Aurea anyway. But here he picks Dark Nick, which is kind of a problem, because if Bocce spirals out of control, he can take down the Dark Nick, and then the Dark Nick can just nuke. So here, I pick Zoltan, and I don't know who I pick, but I should pick Jonathan. Okay. Well, that was smart, at least. Or do I go away from it? Oh, boy. Okay. I picked that. Now, I need the Jonathan to put the attack down on the Dark Nick. And then also he has Unhealable, which helps combat Afroween. So anyway, he has Halia here. Going first. The taunt lands on my Alicia because she is the fastest and has highest attack. So that's a pretty nice counter. So he jumps an extra turn into the Afroween. So here, I'm in a tough spot on who to stun, because if I attack Afroween with Bocce, she's going to counterattack, and I'm worried about her one-shotting him. But on the other hand, if I don't stun Dark Nick, then he's just going to nuke me down. So, I was thinking about rolling the dice there. I also could have stunned the Aurea, so she couldn't taunt the Bocce, which ends up happening. And then the Afroween gets to go. So then I ult with Zoltan. I probably shouldn't have targeted the Halia there, but it was still odd that the Afroween ended up counterattacking against him, because there was True Strike. So I don't know what happened there. Anyway, that could have just been really unlucky or what, but here I think this is one of those instances where Bocce gets to spiral. I'm checking that HP here. Yeah, so watch this. So he's supposed to counterattack or do a follow-up attack on the Afroween, but okay, so he does. So that's cool. But she heals right back up, and then she gains enough rage again. So fun hero. I think here I was hoping to land a True Strike, which I did with the Zoltan, so she wouldn't counter. And then I have to try and do the same thing again. But now, so I got lucky there, but now I have the issue where he's going to kill the Aurea, and then also the Dark Nick is going to go down to 0. Yeah, which ended up costing me the game. I think what I needed to do there was maybe attack the Dark Nick, but I think the Bocce was going to do enough damage anyway. I need to loop back around to the Ashlyn to stun the Dark Nick again, but I don't even know if her ult was off cooldown because she had been taunted there for a while. But yeah, it is what it is. So, you know, it's always a back and forth with Han there. I think he's ranked like number 3 right now. So, fun games. But that's all I got for you today. All right, see you later.